What's going on, pond people? It's Brad with Pondscapes of Charlotte. Today we're gonna turn this backyard into this.
It just emerges out of the forest. It's really magical.
Hey, it's Dave, the top frog with Pondscapes of Charlotte. I'm here at the Scott residence. We're about to start a 18-foot pondless waterfall. Our waterfall is going to start over in this area by the property line. We're going to take out these two crepe myrtles over here because they're going to obstruct the view, and we're going to get a lot of nasty stuff falling off of them. We don't want any of that to get into the water feature. The stream will start up here, cascade down, make a few turns, and come around here and terminate in this area right here. Mr. Scott is going to put in a patio here for everybody to sit on and look at the beautiful water feature. Mr. Scott will be here in about 15-20 minutes. We're going to do a transfer of trust where the salesman, myself, is going to transfer the trust of what we have with the client over to the crew so that the crew is all on the same page as the client. Here we go. Let's get her done.
What's up, pond people? Like Dave just told y'all, we got a pretty interesting 18-foot pondless coming out for you guys today. It's actually going to be a 3-day project. We got Dave on the machine master, if you will. Now, what this machine lacks in speed and general mobility, it makes up for in pure strength. What would take me a day to do, or Chente a half a day to do, the bucket can gobble up in about 2 scoops. So right now the guys are kind of just acting as support crew or like cheerleaders for the machine, just giving it whatever it needs to keep it going. And right now they are moving at an absolutely incredible pace. We've already got the underlayment set and the liner down into the reservoir, and so that means we're going to be able to start rocking and rolling here in just a second.
Dual wielding, multitasking.
And even on these pondlesses, we want to get the biofall set pretty early on so that we have the reservoir and biofall set, and we kind of got our parameters to build between. Brad churning a little butter here to get the dirt around the aqua block set, and then he unlocks his inner Amish and goes absolutely ham on the butter churn. And speaking of churning, we are absolutely churning out this feature with the hole dug, reservoir set, biofalls in place. It's looking good. After that is the fun part where we actually get to start putting some of these huge boulders into the feature. That's the main reason why we brought the excavator. It's not to dig, it's actually to move these boulders because it's just so much better at moving them and lifting them up so we can manipulate them exactly how we want. Kind of like my ex-girlfriend. Sometimes the guys are working in pretty close proximity, so here we got like 4 guys working in like a single square yard of space. Got Chente politely waiting for his turn, but that bully of an excavator is not sharing the dirt, so that's not nice. Now that we got a good bit of boulderage going on down by the reservoir, we're going to start on the upper part by the biofalls. So because we're using one piece of liner on this whole feature, wrinkles are inevitable, and that's not a problem, except they can sometimes be unsightly, and if they're not pushed down well enough, sometimes the gravel on top won't be able to sit on them well, and the wrinkles will pop up, and we don't want that. So what we're doing here is we're actually taping down the wrinkles so that you don't see that seam, that line.
All the way back to the spot.
Not messed up, boy.
I know.
Okay, listen. We're not going to put it down yet. Work your way and stay in the middle of that fold.
Yeah, so honestly the guy's just doing some miracle work here, removing those flappy folds. We do not want them. Chente with a little slap of encouragement. Oh, double slap. He got one on the strap and one on the rock. And there's really nothing that looks better than a well-strapped rock. The hand-sized rocks are important too, like Brad has shown. They're still important to move around, but it just looks so cool to see a well-strapped rock kind of levitating on the job site, knowing that it's not going anywhere because, I mean, it can't defy the laws of physics, you know. And because of all the great work we did on the first day, this is what we're looking like going into day 2. It almost looks like a fully functioning water feature. Brad and Chente here going in on some more wrinkles and flappy folds. They are not going to rest until every single flappy fold is eradicated.
Yeah. Angleize that.
Shout out Joe for keeping us on our toes and possibly inventing the word angleize on the job site. He definitely had me Googling that one. And Chente here looking like Jason Voorhees poking holes in the side of a tent to scare some campers or something like that. But Just to admire the craftsmanship here, Chente got that thing sealed absolutely perfectly, and we left a little extra liner right there. You never want to have the area right below your biofall super tight. We just got a couple more boulders to move here and there, but we are essentially done with the feature from head to toe, just with a couple little small adjustments to make still. We also let Blake get in the machine for today. He's done it before, but it's always good to get more experience. And look at how proud he's made Dave, a truly proud father, even though Dave's actual son is there in the background shoveling. We got the guys working really hard to finish this up in a 3-tiered system. We got bottom, middle, top. They're all working on different layers here, and we're getting a lot of work done. So Blake is going to go ahead and trim some of that excess underlayment out, and we are going to be turning this thing on. Now you're going to notice the water is really dirty coming out of this. It's because it's picked up all the rock dust and dirt that's gotten in there during the building of the feature, but we're going to be pumping that water out and putting fresh water in, so no need to worry about that chocolate milk water. It's also important to have the feature running when you edge or cut off the excess liner on the sides of the feature, because you can't really eyeball it to tell where the water is going to be hitting. So it's really important to have that water running so you can physically see where in the feature you need to have the liner so that it's high enough for water to not be going over the edge. And here we are pumping out that water finally so we can get some nice fresh water in there, and Joe is helping us out with that with the little hose, but it's going to get the job done, thankfully. We still have the machine on site too to help us move those crepe myrtles from the viewing area to the back of the yard. We're doing our best to get as much of the root ball as possible to keep them alive, and we even trimmed a little bit off the top so they wouldn't have as much tree to take care of after we moved them. Moving the trees is pretty hype and cool. It gets Brad especially excited. Here he is. Yeah, you're the best dad ever. Move that tree. Yeah. Oh, that was his live reaction. I had to dub over it for audio purposes, but yeah, moving the trees is pretty easy when you got this machine. You just dig a hole in the back of the yard, pick them up, plop them down. Make sure the roots are nice and buried, get some dirt over top of it, and sprinkle it with some water to get them all settled in. And here we are at the start of the last day. Those trees are hopefully going to live happily ever after, nice and close together again. We pretty much got the feature done, just got to do some beautification around the sides and stuff. We're going to show you guys that in time lapse, but you're also going to see pretty much all we got left to do is just clean up some of the yard, flatten out that area for the patio. You can see that on the time lapse. But lastly, the most important thing we got left is to mulch the outside of it. So Chente and Blake are going to make short work of that mulch. Mulch just brings the whole thing together. It's not required and not every homeowner goes with it, but it does just kind of define the area a little bit better and give it more of a finished look. So getting that mulch on there to finish up is just like icing on the cake. Or should I say it's like the cheese on the pizza, because to finish up this build, we got a nice hot pizza, very delicioso. It was nice to just sit, hang out with the guys, and relax on the last day of the build. And just like that, we are done with this beauty. 18 feet of pure magic done in about 2.5 days. I'm going to try to show off the full body of the stream as much as possible first. You'll see some more specific shots of the waterfalls and other areas in the videos to come while we got the homeowners and Brad talking about the feature. But yeah, this thing came out immaculately. We got some good curvature. We've got some nice plants going on around. It's going to get planted up even more. But overall, we're super happy with how this thing turned out, and the homeowners are as well. You'll hear from them in a sec.
All right, guys, it's the final day of this 18-foot pondless waterfall. It came out amazing. The customer is super happy. We'll hear from him and her later in the video. But this thing just came out great. Blake and Chente picked out some awesome machine stone boulders that we were able to incorporate into this water feature. The great thing about pondless waterfalls are they're very low maintenance, especially compared to a pond or a koi pond. It's just more like a fountain than a complete ecosystem. The pondless waterfalls are great for people who love the look and the feel of the waterfalls, but don't really want to take care of something as big as like a pond. As you can see up top, coming out of the origination point, we still got to add some plants back there. The homeowner's going to add some plants all around, and it's going to make this thing age like a fine wine. But you can see as the water comes down, we twist and we turn, and we make sure that we're making the stream meander across different rocks and stones, just to give it more of a natural feel. makes it feel like the water's just taking the path of least resistance, and it hits a big rock. And in nature, when the water comes up to a big rock, the rock moves the water in a direction that is easier for the water to go. So when we build our streams, we want to make sure that we're not building them super straight because it looks not natural at all. We want to make sure that we twist and turn and meander, and I think we accomplished that on this one. So as you see, it comes down here. We got some twists and some turns. I love this rock that sticks up just to break it up a little bit. And it comes down here into our basin where it just recirculates. This has been an awesome build. I'm full of pizza right now because we just had lunch, but this thing couldn't have turned out any better in my opinion. We appreciate you guys doing it for us.
We appreciate you guys.
What made you guys choose Pondscapes of Charlotte?
Well, in 2 houses ago, we had a water feature and just fell in love with it and missed it badly when we moved from that house. And we just decided when we moved here that we would get back to have a water feature.
Nice. Did you guys have a pond or a pondless waterfall?
It was a pond and a disappearing river, they called it.
Okay. Okay.
This is, I have to say, far more magnificent.
As far as the expectations of the water feature, how did it line up to what you guys were expecting?
We had very high expectations because we read all the very favorable reviews that Pondscapes had, but you guys exceeded our very high expectations by a lot.
We knew it would be wonderful, but this is magnificent.
It's perfect.
We appreciate it. Fantastic. Thank you guys. And Jim and I were saying too, all your passion for your artwork, because essentially it is so reflective, so beautifully. Thank you so much. It's so peaceful.
We appreciate that Pondscapes is a family business, and that you guys are honest, and you started on time, you finished on time, the price was right, and we appreciate all those things.
Awesome. So I know we just got done, and you still got a lot more time to check it out.
Right.
But first impressions, what's your favorite part?
Every square inch is overwhelming. I love it.
It's really hard to answer that question because it's really all really great. But I like the way that it meanders in an irregular way rather than just doing an S-turn, which would make it look unnatural. So the way you created the curve in the river, and there's a little bit of a pond halfway down, and there's different volumes of water spilling, it just makes it very interesting.
You're obviously all artists, and just the way you've arranged every boulder, rock, and pebble is so artistically displayed, and yet it looks so natural, as Jim was saying. It just emerges out of the forest. It's really magical. Thank you.
What are you guys looking forward to most about the feature? Like it growing in with plants, or you guys want the sounds of nature, or just hanging out by the patio and watching it?
For me, the peace and its escapism. We're going to come outside, and even from our deck, you can hear it and look at it, and we'll have a patio down here. I think I'm going to live here, actually. It's just very peaceful and beautiful.
It is very peaceful and serene, and we'll sit out here a lot. Hopefully we'll win the battle with the mosquitoes, but we'll spend as much time out here as we can because it's just very calming, very relaxing.
Did we pass the audition?
Yeah, yeah, you got the part.
We got the gig? All right.
As he told me everything. If you liked the way this water feature turned out, you want it in your backyard, make sure to check out our website. Other than that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And just remember, we're having fun, we're changing lives, and we're building the best water features in the world. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.